Routing policy is one of the very important and useful features of Route 53. First one is simple routing policy. It is very simple. We have our EC2 instance running an application behind a subnet inside of a VPC and internet. Then Route 53. Internet wants to talk to this EC2 instance, but we are using domain name. My ISP's DNS resolver will talk to Route 53 to get EC2 instance's IP address after fetching all information from root and TLD servers. Route 53 will return the IP address and then my browser will be able to connect to this EC2 instance. I have already set up a basic web page in an EC2 instance and we are using aws-foundation.tk to connect to this EC2 instance. If you use nslookup command on our domain name, it should return public IP address of this EC2 instance. Let's go ahead and see that. This is the IP address of our EC2 instance. If I do an nslookup on aws-foundation.tk, I should get this IP address. So if you see, this IP address has been returned. So the name server lookup went to Route 53, checked Route 53's name servers and got the mapping for us. So you have seen how the mapping of aws-foundation.tk was done with the public IP address of the EC2 instances which we launched. The second routing policy is failover. In failover routing policy, two servers perform active-passive routing. Active-passive means that only one server will be active and the other one would be first server's backup. Whenever the first server goes down, traffic will be served by the backup server and it will be redirected back to the primary server as soon as it is up. Say this is our primary server and this is our secondary server. Traffic will always be directed to the primary server. If primary server goes down, traffic will be redirected to the standby server. When primary server comes back up, traffic will be sent back to the primary again. We have talked about health check so many times that I feel that this is an unnecessary topic here. But for the purpose of completion, I would have to talk about it. Route 53 can monitor health of web servers and other resources. Whether a server is healthy or not is determined by Route 53 health checks. Route 53 has its own health checks or health checkers. There are three types of health checks. One monitors the endpoints, as in monitoring IP address or domain name. Then it can monitor CloudWatch alarms. So the health check would see what is the status of CloudWatch alarm and based on that, it will determine whether the instance or the endpoint is healthy or not. And then the final one is other health checks, which monitors the status of other Route 53 health checks. Health check endpoints, which uses protocol, IP address, hostname, domain name and path. Everything is similar. We can use either HTTP or HTTPS or TCP. In IP address, we provide IPv4 or IPv6 address of the endpoints. We can provide hostname also, and which is valid only for HTTP and HTTPS protocols, or the domain name, and of course the path. There's an interesting side note for Route 53 health checks. We all know that health check is done by pinging EC2 instance at pre-provided frequencies. In case of Route 53, those pings are done by different nodes from different regions called health checkers. The IP address of the health checkers can be found here. Let's look at some of the IP addresses. It opened this page, search for Route 53, and these are the Route 53 health checkers, or basically these are the IP addresses of Route 53 health checkers, IP addresses or network addresses. So there are multiple health checkers available, and find this information here. This is needed for your network ACLs and security groups. If you do not know the health checker IP address or network address range, you cannot create proper security groups or NACLs. As I said, these IP addresses are provided so that we can make sure to modify our NACLs and security groups accordingly. How health check is determined? Give it just one time read. This is not important, but you should know at the least. For HTTP and HTTPS health checks, first establish a TCP connection in 4 seconds. On the left hand side, we have Route 53 health checkers. On the right hand side, we have EC2 instances. Make a successful connection in 4 seconds. The HTTP response should be received within 2 seconds of connection. Then the EC2 instances would be considered as healthy. Similarly, we have setup for TCP health checks, which I'm not going to discuss in details. So in TCP, you have to establish a connection within 10 seconds. So if the connection is successful, then your EC2 instances are healthy. Finally, we'll see demo of simple and failover routing. We'll spin up two EC2 instances in a VPC named myVPC, or you can use our previous VPC also. The instance name should be R53 INST1 and INST2. Both instances should be running basic HTTP service, which we have already installed using Apache. We'll create two health checks to monitor endpoints only. We'll use both health check IP and health check domain. We'll use the IP address to monitor R53 INST1 and use the domain name to monitor R53 INST2. I have launched two EC2 instances, R53 INST1 and R53 INST2. Let's see the basic web pages deployed in them. It says R53 INST1 and this is the primary instance. The other one has a green background and it says R53 INST2 and this is the standby instance. Let's go ahead and create a failover routing policy. Come to Route 53 hosted zones, click on the hosted zone. I'll delete the existing record set so that we can create from scratch. Although you can modify this record set and use failover routing policy here. But let me do it from scratch. Before creating the record set, we'll have to create the health checks. Otherwise, Route 53 will not know which instance is healthy and which one is unhealthy. Click on health checks and then click on create health check. There are three options. You can monitor the endpoint, you can monitor status of other health checks, or you can monitor the state of CloudWatch alarm. I'll use this health check to monitor the endpoint. And the second portion, you mention what to monitor, whether you want to monitor an IP address or a domain name. For the first EC2 instance, we'll use IP address, and for the second EC2 instance, we'll use domain name. Protocol can be either HTTP, HTTPS or TCP. An IP address paste the IP address of the EC2 instance, R53 INST1. Path as usual, index.html. In advanced configuration, you can mention request interval, failure threshold, etc. etc. So request interval can be 30 seconds or 10 seconds. You cannot edit it. Failure threshold I'll mention as 1. There is no string matching, etc. etc. And then health checker regions. This is the one I was talking about when I showed you the IP address.json file. Instead of using recommended, we'll customize so that our health check becomes faster. We'll only use North Virginia, North California and Oregon regions health check. Remember one thing, you should have minimum 3 health checker regions. If you try to remove one more, it'll give you error saying that please select at least 3 regions. Click on next. Do you want to create an alarm? As of now, I would say no, and then create the health check. So the health check has been created successfully. It'll take at least 30 to 60 seconds to return the status. You can select the health check and get the information how the health check was created. Let us go ahead and create the second health check. This health check is for the second EC2 instance, and this time we'll use domain name instead of IP address. Protocol would be same, HTTP, HTTPS and TCP. I'm using the domain name provided by AWS because that's what the domain name. We have not created any domain name for that particular EC2 instance. Path would be as usual, index.html. And in advanced configuration, we'll do the exact same setup as we did in the previous case. Click on next and create the health check without any alarm. Both health checks have been created. The first one is showing that the instance to be healthy. Let's wait for the second one to return the status. Both the health checks are reporting the EC2 instances to be healthy. Let us go ahead and create the record sets now. Click on hosted zones, go to the hosted zone and then click on create record set. We'll use the same way, www.awsfoundation.com. Type would be same, TTL would be same, and value would mention IP address as we did earlier. This is the IP address of the first EC2 instance. We'll change the routing policy and select it to be a failover one. Once you select the routing policy as failover, it will ask you what type of record is this one, whether it is a primary or a secondary. I want R53 INST1 to be the primary record type, so I'll select primary here. Give it a set ID. The set ID has to be unique. You can select anything. You can also mention numeric numbers like 1, 2, etc. etc. I have selected primary, and of course you have to associate a health check. Click on yes and select the health check to associate. We'll use R53 INST1 and then create. So the first record set has been created. Remember, this record set is for primary. We have created a failover routing policy, but we have created a record set only for primary. We have not created the record set for standby. Let us go ahead and create the standby record set also. Click on create record set. The domain name would be same, the type would be same, everything would be same, but in value you'll mention the IP address of the second EC2 instance. This is the IP address of the second EC2 instance. We'll select failover routing policy here also, but this time around, instead of primary, we'll mention it as secondary. Give it a name and associate it with a health check. This time the health check should be the other health check which we created. R53INST2 health check is for the second EC2 instance. We'll select that one and click on create. In a nutshell, we have created two record sets. Both are following failover routing policy. One of them is primary and one of them is secondary. If you want to see which one is primary and secondary, click on the record set. I'll tell you what is the type of this record. So this one is primary and this one is secondary. Each record set is associated with different health checks. If I use this domain name now, it should take me to the primary instance by default, which is the orange one. So it is taking me to the primary instance, R53INST1 AWS Foundation. It will never take me to the standby instance. Let me go ahead and stop the primary instance and see what happens. This EC2 instance has been stopped now. As the EC2 instance is stopped, the health check is saying that the EC2 instance is unhealthy. Of course, this is what we want. Now, our domain name should take us to the standby EC2 instance, which is the green one. Let us go ahead and see, but remember one thing, we have mentioned the TTL to be 5 minutes. So we'll have to wait for 5 minutes at least to see the effect. More than 5 minutes have passed. Let us see now what is happening. So it is taking me to the second EC2 instance or the standby EC2 instance with green background. This is how the setup was done. But typically in production environment, both the EC2 instance would have the exact same application. One should be a replica of the other. If I bring the EC2 instance up as it is a primary one, and when Route 53 health check reports the EC2 instance to be healthy, all my traffic will return back to the primary instance. One thing to note, you know that as we are using public IP address provided by AWS, as public IP address of this EC2 instance has changed, we'll have to make sure that you edit the health check as well. How do you edit it? Click on the health check and then click on edit health check. An IP address, change the IP address to the current one and then click on save. That's it. If you don't do this, even though the EC2 instance is up and running, this health check will say that the instance is unhealthy because it is actually monitoring a wrong IP address. Typically in production, you will not do like this because you'll be using Elastic IP instead of public IP addresses provided by AWS. So this problem would not arise in your work environment. One more thing, as the IP address of the primary instance got changed, I had to change the record set and health check both. So in this record set, I changed this IP address to the current one in the primary record type. In Route 53 health check, the instance is showing to be completely healthy now. If I use aws-foundation.tk domain name, it should take me back to the primary instance. There you go. We are using the domain name. Even though both primary and secondary instances are up, it is taking me to the primary instance. This is what active-passive failover is. That's all about simple and failover routing policy. Thanks for watching.